Come on. All right. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Welcome to Unfiltered Conversations with myself, Keandre Cox, and my friend and my brother, the one, the only.
Tristan Mullen. Let me say what I said before we went on the air. All you Auburn fans has been crowing and hoo-hawing about Bama and Duke last week. Well, guess what? Y'all on the couch now too. So y'all, your reward for that one seed was a whole grand one more week than us. Now y'all are also at the house. So
Tristan, I don't
congratulations.
want to hear it, Tristan. We in the Auburn fandom are in mourning.
Mm-hmm.
So let us
Well,
let us grieve our loss.
no, because see, when Bama lose heartbreaking games, y'all don't have that much grace towards us. I don't want to hear it.
That's because y'all
Even
talk
when we
too
get
much.
hold,
Y'all
wow,
talk too much. Y'all have big heads
like
over in the Bama
I
fandom.
remember, I remember there was a certain game. I'm getting off of this that we went to Knoxville, Tennessee against Tennessee 2 years ago. Obvious home cooking. They called back a pass interference that won the pass interference, but then like took a touchdown off the board that would have won the game. Like even Tennessee fans were saying that was a messed up call, but we're not complaining. Like we got hosed, and you didn't care that we got robbed by the refs.
That's
We
because
just lost.
y'all's fandom has some big heads. Y'all are a bit arrogant. So
So
when
getting
something
so
happens to
getting
you,
so getting cheated out of a game is okay.
when you're arrogant, nobody's going to feel pity for you.
That's terrible. Let's move. Let's move.
Anyways, moving on. It's been a minute since we have done an episode of the podcast, and I've got some calls. I'm sure you have. People have been wondering where have we been. And so I would tell you to our loyal supporters and our followers and listeners, I have been busy, people. I announced on our last episode that I was beginning a campaign to be the president of the Alabama Young Democrats. I did not anticipate that it would be as time consuming as it has been. I thought that I would be able to go in and really, I'm not going to say easily, but have an easier time getting to the votes that I needed. But I have
You
been
got a little.
busy.
You got a little competition. You got a little machine
I
that's
do have some
running
competition.
against you. No, you being gracious. You got a little machine that's running against you.
I view it this way. There are some candidates that are more so, I would say, the old guard, more of the establishment. Those that have been there for a minute and are a little bit hesitant to change. And what I represent is something that is different, a different style of leadership that I think AYD has not seen in a minute. And so that has inspired others to run, and I'm all for that. I think that we should have free and fair elections. That's what I pushed hard for, just to have a free and fair election. Let's have a clean campaign, and the candidate with the best strategy and the best message should be the one to win. I happen to believe that that's me, and so that's why I'm still in it. But that's why I've been so busy as of late. Even today, I was busy with that. I just got free to get some time to get on this podcast because this has been a great week for Democrats, and I don't think that we could sit this one out. We got some things to discuss.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's where I've been. And Tristan, I'm sure you too have been quite busy. You are a dual student.
Yes. So Tristan is getting ready to graduate from Yale with his master's next month, in case something goes wrong. But between trying to schedule graduation photos and make sure they got my damn name on my diploma spelled right, and trying to make sure my mom and them got their damn graduation tickets and everything, and making sure folks got hotels to stay in. I told them one can stay with me in my apartment, but I ain't got that much room for them. They're gonna put me out. Uh, so between all of that stuff, your boy been busy. April is hell month in the second semester, no matter where you at, because it's when all shit get real, stuff getting ready to be due for the semester over with. So that's where I've been, but we back, and we're certainly glad to be back. We're trying to find another format to be able to get the videos like on Facebook, so you don't have to click through
Yeah,
stuff to
this
find them.
one this one will be on Facebook. This one's gonna go up on Facebook tonight. I'm gonna try to have everything uploaded tonight on this Saturday. I'm sorry, so that it can be ready to view.
All right.
So let's get into it, Tristan. Like I said, it was a really great week for Democrats. People have been begging our party since Trump got into office, myself included, to do something, to stop sitting around and appearing as though we are weak or that we cannot fight back just because we are in the minority. And Senator Cory Booker answered that call. Senator Booker went onto the Senate floor, and his intention was to speak for as long as his body would allow. And he was able to go and break the longest Senate speech that was once held by Senator Strom Thurmond, is now held by Cory Booker, and I think the irony between the two is
Yeah,
absolutely
we have
amazing
to mention that the
because Senator Thurmond's speech was against civil rights, and here is
1957,
right.
1957, the Southern Manifesto speech. 1957, he was filibustering, or he was the Civil Rights Bill of 57,
Mm-hmm.
and they were also mad because of Brown. In 1956, a bunch of powerful Southern senators, Senator Stennis from Mississippi, Senator Eastland, Senator, I think, Keefe from Tennessee, both of our senators from Alabama at the time, Sparkman, and I forgot the other one. But they all, signed this thing saying, hey, we don't like this. And then he was filibustering the Civil Rights Act of 57, which itself was like a very watered down, like, civil rights bill. So, yeah, I think the irony between that is very poignantly beautiful.
Yeah,
It's also
I
sad
think the
that we
fact
have
that you had Cory Booker, who, in spite of what Thurman wanted to happen, here he is, this black man, in the Senate, a Democrat, able to break the record and doing so fighting for something that is important, fighting for progress, not fighting against progress. I think that the irony between the two is absolutely amazing, and I'm grateful that Senator Booker did this because it brought some attention to the party. It showed that we are trying to fight back, that we're going to use the tools that we have access to fight back, and I'm hoping to see more filibusters from Democrats when it comes to some of these bills. They're a little bit much. Let's fight back. We're in the
I'll
minority.
tell you the main one.
That doesn't mean we can't fight.
Now, what Trump has or is trying to do with the Department of Education, he signed this executive order, which he can't do. Obviously, it takes an act of Congress to undo a federal department. But he has, through federal, rather, scratch that, he has, through executive action, been able to reassign and gut significant parts of the department to render it de facto obsolete, if not de jure. De jure means just completely gone, like structurally. And one thing that I would like to see, if Republicans are going to try to use the nuclear option, and the Senate parliamentarian might not let them, we'll see how that goes, but make the Republicans on the record use the nuclear option to where they don't require 60 votes, but only 50 votes to end it. Make them do that. Make them explain why they're voting to because this thing about NDOE, that is too far out left field for a lot of moderate suburban Republicans. Going into a midterm year, make them do not filibuster the hell out of that bill. Do not give them an out. That should not be a single one of us that votes in favor of that nonsense. They only have 53 seats in the Senate.
Somebody should tell Chuck Schumer that. Somebody should tell him to fight back. Don't give in this time.
Chuck Schumer needs to go. But
I agree.
I think that we have to use, I think that we are overreacting in a way to Trump winning re-election, and we're trying to, passivity to Republicans, there's nothing wrong with bipartisanship. Nothing wrong with reaching across the aisle. But there's certain things that you just have to stand firm on as unacceptable. And, I was happy that there was certain amount of Republicans who went against the tariffs. But like what I'm saying, some things you have to draw a line in the sand and say, no, we can't be bipartisan on this. It's unacceptable, and just hope. So congratulations to Cory Booker. He made history. You talk about how well his body held it up. I know that the stock, if they're put the stock in Depends diapers and Foley catheters went up less.
Well, he said that he dehydrated himself and he fasted that whole weekend, so he didn't have anything to release. So he prepared himself to go out and do it.
I doubt that when your body's stressed, some gonna let me be quiet.
I don't know. What I will say is I don't think the guy could have done that. And I'm much younger. I don't think the guy could have spoke for 25 hours and what was it, like 30 minutes? Or
Mhm.
25 minutes, 25 hours and 30 minutes?
Over a whole day.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think I
let
could
me
have done
tell
that.
you, like the next, he's gonna sleep for 5 straight days. His body's kicking his ass right now.
Well, he himself, he said he's in rough shape physically, but spiritually, he felt good. So
My feet may be tired, but my soul is rested.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Senator Warnock said, and I forget who he was quoting. He said there was a rabbi who marched alongside Dr. King, and the rabbi said when he was marching with Dr. King, he felt as though his legs were praying. And I know that Senator Booker's legs were praying during those 25 hours that he spoke. But I'm very happy he did this. I think it was a good message. It was a good stance for Democrats, and it shows us finally fighting back, which is what people have been begging us to do since Trump got in office. And then the week continued to get better because when it came to the election for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, in which Elon Musk gave millions of dollars,
I heard
tried
like
to buy.
someone said this might was it not I heard it was more than that. I heard he spent like tens of millions.
Yeah, I'm speaking of the checks he was giving out, the $1 million checks he was giving out to people to vote for the Republican backed judge,
Which I need to look
which is
up.
illegal. Last time I
That's
checked,
illegal
right?
as hell.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, like at this point, who cares about the damn law? Who cares about what's constitutional? Who cares about any of this shit, right? Just do whatever the
Yeah.
hell you want to
But
do.
but despite all of this, the Democratic backed judge Susan Crawford was victorious in her election for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, which proves that our democracy is not for sale, and Elon needs to pack it up, go back to Tesla, which is already failing. Go back to your company. They
I'm
need you.
surprised you ain't messing around and told him like you did last time. Go back to South Africa. So I was surprised. I thought that was coming.
Anyways, what is your opinion on the election in Wisconsin?
I
Democratic.
think it. I think it proves that if Democrats have the proper candidates and do the proper vetting of the messages or vetting of their message in their platform in 26 we'll be in 28 we'll be in good shape. I think that 24 in some ways was a referendum in a lot of folks are not like how we did the primaries. I hate to say it, and I was wrong on that, but they didn't like that. They felt they were being handed a nominee. They felt like they didn't get a chance to put the platform together through the primary process. A lot of them felt deceived that they thought that they were going to get a chance to vote the really president, and they didn't. So I think that with this, first of all, Trump is seeing that he doesn't have any kind of mandate at all. And that's voters letting him know, hey, man, this stuff you're doing, like a lot of this stuff in the Department of Education, trying to sunset Medicaid and Medicare, just deep, it's not even deep, just straight like 1960s era, like racism through this federal, like a lot of this stuff, a lot of folks and say, hey, hold on, wait a minute, I'm not okay with this. And he's so kudos to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's always kind of been a small C conservative swing-ish state. And if it was like maybe Georgia or North Carolina or some state that was more entrenched in its DNA as being conservative, big C conservative, but has just started shifting blue because of Charlotte and Raleigh and Atlanta, that's one thing. When you go to the state that is like Wisconsin, that's blue, most likely, that stuff wasn't gonna fly. So kudos to Wisconsin, getting my hope back up in the American people not being insane, and
No,
hopefully
we cannot be brought. I think that's important. I think this oligarchy class that's trying to be established in D.C. will send a message. You cannot buy the American democracy, and
yeah.
I hope that any Elon acolytes get the picture that this is not where you would put your money
Elon
at.
acolytes. I'm dying.
Moving on, the president after this shit show election that he went and had what he called uh, the American Liberation Day, where he put tariffs on just about every country in the world, including some areas that are uninhabited by human beings. And the stock market reacted. I myself, as you already know, have money in the stock market. The Dow dropped about 2,100 points. That's the
It's the
lowest drop
worst.
in history.
It's the worst single drop. They're saying now in history. Before, at least, it was the worst single drop since Black Monday. I think it's Black Monday, Black Tuesday, Black Monday in 1987. So the worst, maybe of all time, but the worst single day drop at least in 28 years.
Mm-hmm. And he ran on saving the economy. He ran on lowering prices. And what's going to happen because of this? Prices are going to go up. The economy is going to tank.
Oh,
And
J.P. Morgan has said we're headed to a recession.
a Democrat's going to have to come in and clean the mess again. And I just hope that I pray that people remember this feeling. There are auto workers in Michigan whose union endorsed Trump. I hope that they remember going into the next election that this guy that you endorsed, that you supported, caused you to lose your job.
Isn't this something that, because people let's just go back at least to the Carter administration, right? People credit Reagan for the AIDS economy. Carter was the one that hired Paul Volcker to be the chair of the Fed, who squeezed inflation out, and the booming. It was really so. Carter fixes the economy from Nixon and Ford, stagflation. Reagan blows up a huge deficit. Bush 41 blows up a huge deficit, or Bush 41 rather gets blamed when he has to cut taxes because of the deficit. Clinton fixes the economy. First balanced budget in forever, in the Clinton term. Bush running 2 wars on credit cards, tank the economy, going to a recession. Obama fixes the economy. Trump tanks it. Biden fixes it. Trump's going to tank it again.
The cycle repeats over and over
How
again.
Republicans are known as the economic presidents, for some, it's the most baffling case of successful gaslighting that I've ever seen.
I will tell you what the issue is, and I've said this many times. Democrats suck at messaging. We allow the Republicans to dictate to us
and we react
what our
to
message is going to be, and then we
and
react to their message, and we don't have our own message. Where is our version of Project 2025? We suck at messaging.
We suck at messaging. I'm writing a paper right now because it's related. Because we let conservatives dictate to us what constitutional law means, or how to read originalism, or how to read textualism.
We let them dictate to us what Christianity is.
When you look at originalism in its pre-Civil War origins, is anti-slavery, freedom constitutionalism. So it's like when it goes to con law, the economics, when it goes to pretty much everything you could think of in the political and social sphere, we let conservatives dictate the conversation and we react to it on everything. I do not know why that is.
Yeah, what I was saying is one of the things that I simply do not understand is how we've allowed conservatives to hijack religion, Christianity, and make it their own.
That can be
I do not understand that, because liberals have historically been Christian. Dr. Martin Luther King, one of the most successful liberal leaders there was a pastor.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter himself, even after being president, we go and teach Sunday school. I don't understand how we've allowed them to hijack Christianity and claim to be Christians, and they don't even follow the real teachings of Jesus Christ.
And then and then they try to say, if you're someone whose version of Christianity doesn't fit within their version of Christianity, then you're not a Christian, you're a heretic, or you're they a lot of these cultural uppercase seekers, they feel like they have a right to dictate the terms of everything, and we have to react. But when you're someone who says no, they get enraged.
Yeah, so we got to do a better job with our mission as a party, and I'm hoping they get the picture of that. I'm hoping that what they need to do is give the younger people the chance to lead communication. I was surprised that the Congressional Democratic Caucus did not let Jasmine Crockett lead communication.
Because they're old, the same problem we got in Alabama with Joe Reed. And old folks don't want to. I'm not saying that as a pejorative. Old people, hey, you had your time. We thank you. You've done a lot of great work. You are a trailblazer, whatever. Just sometimes gas them up. Yeah, you wonderful. It's time to let the next generation. You're not gonna be here forever. What happens is you have these old folks that sit there in this position forever. They either die or they retire because they're senile. Then you have a vacuum in leadership because the people who's taking over for you, you didn't train them up. And then when it collapsed, and one thing about conservatives, whether it's through the FedSoc judicial pipeline or through the legislative pipeline, states, they are good at knowing when to give up the power. And the FedSoc is nothing but a 40-year-long project. They know when these kids are in their mid-20s, getting out of policy school, getting out of law school, they've already chosen pretty much who's going to clerk for this prestigious judge or Supreme Court justice, who's going to go to get this prestigious fellowship at the Heritage Foundation, the Cato Institute. I'm telling you, people don't know how to. They know who's going to be the power 20 years from now already. Democrats, yeah, we got ACS, yeah, we got other, but we don't have that kind of just deep integrated pipeline like they have, and that's why they've been whacking us over the head so bad the last 20 plus years.
Yeah, we've got some catching up to do, but we're gonna leave it at there on that, and we're gonna get ready to draw to an end. Across the nation, and I've been really happy to see this today. Across the nation, people have been out in drives protesting the Trump administration with the hands-off protests. Just down the road from me in Tuscaloosa, there was a protest. There was a protest in Birmingham, and all across the country. And this warms my heart because this is the American people showing, both Democrat and Republican, on both sides of the aisle, that we're not okay with the job that the president and Elon Musk are doing to our country.
I think there was a pretty big one in Atlanta that I saw today. So kudos to folks to the South for going out and doing what we got to do.
People have asked, who's going to save us? It's not those that are in power. Who's going to save you? It's going to be us. It's going to be the American people. We the people are going to save us. I think Governor Tim Walz did a speech on that. We the people. That's who's going to save us. That's who's going to get us out of this mess. That's who's always gotten us out of the mess. It's we the people. And so we as a people have got to organize, have got to demonstrate, because that has always been the way we've moved progress in America. So I'm happy to see it. And I'm happy to see the protests against Target is working. Their foot traffic is down. Their dollars are going down. I've already spoke on Tesla. Stock is tanking by the day. I am happy to see the American people are protesting economically, demonstrating. It warms my heart. It makes me happy. Andre, it gives me hope for the future.
It was so hard yesterday. It was real hard. I wanted to go to Target so bad, and I'm much too cheap to buy a Costco card or a Sam's Club membership. But you know, I went to Walmart and dealt with that ghetto-ness and that frustration. Because I just decided I was not going to go to Target. It was hard. I almost went because Target has a much. But I suffered through Walmart But when Jamal Bryan told Black folks to go to Target, we listened. He was on some, but the protest warmed my heart. I ain't go out there. I got to pray about it. I'm still kind of on the, we tired tip, but I might go out there right now. But
I saw a lot of Black people saying that, and I'm like, I understand that we're tired and that we did not, quote unquote, mess around, but we got to find out. But at the same time, I think that the only thing that's going to make change happen is to have a collective coalition that fights for it.
But it's a catch-22 because these folks, they expect Black folks to always be the first ones to show up and bear the weight of all this stuff. We're the first one to protest line. We show up for everybody. But when it's time for you to reciprocate your thanks for us at the ballot box, you want to clown and like you got no sense.
I think what we as a people are doing, we used to invest 100%. I think that we're starting to invest a little less than we used to, but we're still invested in the success of the country. Just not as much as we used to because it was never reciprocated back toward us. I saw a video of a Latino who voted for Trump saying that she now wants Black people to come and fight and support for Latinos. But I'm like, we did. We fought for you. We voted for the woman that was not going to deport you.
That's why people were saying, well, it don't matter. It don't matter whether Kamala win or whether Trump win, because people want to be all. Sometimes, sometimes it's just straight, plain, real politics. You can't always get philosophical and theoretical and want to be so deep. You want to be so deep. You want to feel good about yourself. I'm so deep. I'm just a deep thinker. No, like sometimes it's good cop and bad cop. And I guarantee you, for all of whatever downsides Vice President Harris might have had, I guarantee you that if she was president right now, ICE wouldn't be at the doors at deporting PhD students.
Yes, at the University of Alabama.
ICE, Kamala Harris wouldn't be taking away huge amounts of endowment money from Ivy League schools because their institutions that still teach, critical, and then they're not indoctrination centers, and they're in the middle of the state in his mind. Or Tim Walz is vice president wouldn't be like J.D. Vance and spearheading a huge endowment tax against Ivy League, Ivy Plus schools to cripple them. Kamala Harris wouldn't be trying to take away the Department of Education. So a lot of these times, I just hope that they're
right. So when people say how come black people didn't fight for them, we did. And I love how your advantage.
I love how Kamala Harris is like, I'm not saying I told you so, but she was.
But she did. You told us.
Like, I told you. Listen, Hillary in 2016 told you. We told you what was going to happen. We told you what was going to happen. And you did. And everything that we said was going to happen is happening.
And they laid out a plan. They gave it to you in black and white.
The man that wrote it is smiling. The Cheshire Cat said, "This is beyond my wildest dreams." He said, "The man that wrote most of the Part 205 said, it's beyond my wildest dreams. He can't believe it. He's like a kid in a candy store at Christmas."
Mm-hmm. So anyway, people, that's been this week in politics. This is the beginning, I think, of the Democratic comeback. So, Tristan, any last words?
Last question for you. We'll do every. At this point, who is your 2028? I'm actually every week. Who's your 2028 candidate preferred for Democrats?
I'm quite mixed on it. My mind tells me that I should be supporting Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky.
I'm still Beshear. Absolutely.
My heart is telling you gonna judge me for this. My heart is telling me that we should be supporting AOC.
So at least you left Newsom over that stunt he just pulled.
Oh yeah, Newsom has lost because Newsom. What he showed me is that he will do whatever it takes to be president. So he can be manipulated as long as he gets to be president, and that's not somebody I want. He can abandon years of being an ally to the community because he wants to be president. So he's trying to pander to the right, and that's what this whole podcast has been doing. Who has he had on there?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's lost all support from me. I'm going to work against him. I don't care who goes against him. I'm going to work to be sure it won't be him.
As soon as Beshear announced, I'm knocking doors for him in Kentucky, wherever it needs to knock doors for. I see in Beshear, what I see? I see Jimmy Carter 76. I see Clinton Gore 92. I see that center appealing candidate that can get suburban moderates to vote for them and support Democrats, but governs as a progressive messaging. And I think that if our main problem is messaging, then Beshear with maybe Shapiro or Whitmer as their running mate.
That's my dream team. It's Beshear and Shapiro. That's my dream team.
Messaging. That will get messaging. So that's my last question, but I'm done for tonight.
All right. Well, listen, to our viewers and supporters, thank you for your support. Remember that the best way to continue to support us is to like, share, and subscribe and send this to your people. Let them give it a listen. We will see y'all again. We're hoping next week. Schedules work out. We'll see you again next week.
We'll figure it out next week, every week. Yes, sir.
Next week. So we thank you for your support. This is Unfiltered Conversations.